Okay, this is Brent from TradeGuild.blogspot.com, and it's actually November 22nd. It's about a quarter till 1 in the morning, and I'm going to do my last video for the night and some ideas here. So I'm going to go through these pretty quick. I don't have a lot of time, and I have a lot of ideas here, and I want to get to sleep. So let's start with HXL, aerospace and defense. I'm short a couple stocks in this sector, so I'm short one stock in this sector, but I have a couple ideas for shorts here. So I'm looking at this one and thinking, maybe we get a pullback to this 22-day moving average, and then, we take a look at it in there and see how it looks at that point. But it does look kind of good here. It formed a nice base. It broke out of the base. Good money stream, good TSV and BOP. So I like HXL. And next up is OIIM. And this is just an example I just want to show you real quick. We're looking at a big downtrend here. You can see it. And then we come to a high volume day here on a gap. And what I want to show you is that gap. And what that is an exhaustion gap. So here it is from there to there. Big volume. That's also known as capitulation. So we see a low put in for a bottom. You can see MACD here is moving up the whole time. It's positively divergent. And then we get a stage of accumulation in here. And sometimes what happens before we get a nice move in these stocks is we get one little shakeout, or one good shakeout right before. So here's that stage of accumulation we were talking about. There's the shakeout right there. Boom, knocks out the weak hands, and the move proceeds shortly thereafter. So remember that pattern. We'll be seeing one more of those tonight. And here's QTM. This one really is bouncing around in a little channel here. So, I like it down here at the bottom if I can buy it, but it does look pretty good. The volume's picking up in there. So keep an eye on QTM. And next up we have ctty. Now I've addressed this stock a couple times last night and tonight again in one of the other videos. But I really like it. So good volume here and a pullback, a little doji day there. If we look at the accumulation indicators, money stream is really in a huge leading divergence, as well as TSV and BOP looks great. So maybe if you're interested in this stock, maybe you kind of phase into the position, buy a little here, buy a little there. If it pulls back down here, buy a little more. Maybe if it breaks out and pulls back, you can add to it. But this looks like it's going to do something in pretty quickly. Next up is cbmx, and cbmx. Let's see what we have here. Basically, there's that capitulation that we're talking about, that big volume here. We didn't get the exhaustion gap, but and then we have some buying coming in here, some accumulation. And on the screen, you can see that transition here from selling to buying, and TSV moving over that zero line, and we get a leading divergence here in money stream. So CBMX looks interesting. Not my favorite, but it's interesting. And next up is ANDS, and this one, I don't know. It's a gut feeling. I think, it was up almost 20% today, but I have a feeling this thing is really going to move. There's a exhaustion gap there. That's what we're talking about. Capitulation. Here's that base. I'm not sure if we got a shakeout move. Doesn't look like it. So I would expect to see some resistance up here around this I don't know, that's probably about 675 level, and that 200-day moving average. So we'll see what happens. But this thing just looks like it wants to really go. Looks like it's in pretty good shape here. So MEMY, and a lot of people are in this. We've been talking about this one, I think, since October. And there it is at that 22-day moving average. The reason I bring it up, here's my trend channel. The bottom of the blue line is a stop on the close. So you can see that we would have caught this entire move even as far back as August, all the way up here. But the reason I bring it up is the stop right now is at about 220. The stock's at 230. That's a pretty good risk to reward ratio. And it's in leading divergences everywhere. It looks great. So MEMY, I think, is a interesting candidate at the levels that it's at right now. Here's gnbt. The reason I bring this up, now this has been on the blog before, I think even in September, maybe October. I like it a lot, and we have a little, actually a fairly good sized pennant here, or symmetrical triangle forming, and one way you confirm those is diminishing volume, which we have, and it's getting pretty close now to a breakout point. So gnbt, drugs and delivery, it's bucking the trend. That industry, as you can see here in red, is really taking a nosedive, and this stock looks pretty good. So gnbt is one to keep on your watch list. And here's ntmd, and this has been mentioned several times recently. Here we go. We've got some looks like capitulation here from that downtrend, starting to even out and go sideways, and then we've got some more selling over here and some buying right there. So this looks kind of interesting. I think my stop at this point would be around 225 or just below it. So I'd really want to buy as close as possible to that area. And let's move along here. Actually, let me go back. I had a note there. Okay, that's a KJ pick. Just to give credit for KJ. He's had a lot of good picks as long as I can remember, and Sensei Kato as well. Actually, everybody, Job and Defender, Chilobis, everybody's had some really good picks lately. So here's bkhm, and this one looks kind of like a reverse head and shoulders bottom, complex bottom or something. Anyway, I think this is about the neckline here, and it's sitting right below it. If it pulls back to the 22-day moving average, I think it's a no-brainer at that point. You know, it looks really good there. But this looks like it wants to break out too. In rmbs, I doubled my portfolio about this time last year on rmbs, actually from October on to January or so. So anyway, very volatile stock, of course. It really moves and it really falls. Here is a breakaway gap here to the downside. It looks like capitulation there and some buying in here. So we got a nice move over here. It's pulling back a little bit. It's pretty far from, it's pretty far, let's see, well, it's not too far, but I'd say there's some support in this level, probably around 1950 or so. So if you can buy it down around 20, that would probably not be a bad, not a bad long. And DNE, this is energy, and I'd like to get some exposure to energy in the months to come. And there's that rounding bottom that we're talking about. There you see it in volume, and here it is picking up, and it's pulled back to that 22-day moving average. I'm not sure that I would hold this stock below that 22-day moving average. Let's see what it looks like in the trend channel. We're right at the stop level. See that lower blue line? That's my stop level for the stock. This trend channel works awesome. If you have telechart, email me. I'll give you my email on the post, and I'll give you this trend channel. It works awesome. It keeps you in. It works as a stop, and I just 9 out of 10 times I'd say it just is awesome. So that's MPET. Now that I'm done tooting my own horn. And in this one, it's flattening out again. This is energy. It's pulled back to the 50-day moving average. So this one looks pretty good. You know, it's not got a lot of volume. There's some buying in BOP. So you want to be careful with it, but I think it looks kind of interesting. WPL, here's a really good example of capitulation in a bottom and a shakeout. So let me zoom out. There's a big downtrend you can see from the start of the year. And then we have a, it's not really a breakaway gap. I'd like to see a gap right there, and that would be an exhaustion gap. But in any case, this is just a waterfall sell-off on big volume. And then look what happens pretty much a couple weeks from there, good buying. So it starts moving up. This is your accumulation phase. Boom, there is the shakeout right there, and it moves up. So let me try to squeeze one more in here. Alcoa. This was one that looks like it's shaping up something for Mom's portfolio, I think. Okay, that's it for tonight. I'm running out of time. Visit the blog. I'll see you later.